What is going on, guys? MG2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai High Grade 2nd Victory Gundam from an alternate iteration of Mobile Suit Gundam Victory. Maybe the manga iteration. I'm not really familiar with the unit, but I know that this thing replaces the V2 Gundam. I don't know what to call it, because it may be mixed up with the V2 of the Victory Gundam or V2 as in Venus 2 Gundam. So whatever, this thing replaces the V2 Gundam in an alternate version of Mobile Suit Gundam Victory. And I have to say, this thing does not look as bland as the original Victory, because the original Victory, it's basically just the same old Gundam but shrunk down. That's it. This thing with the Minovsky flight unit over here looks absolutely amazing. And of course, it does have way more red accents all over the body, which does actually spice up the color scheme, which I really like. Color separation is pretty good on this thing. However, all of the red circles all over the body are stickers. Speaking of stickers, apart from all the red on the arms, the waist, and the legs over here, we do have sensors for the eyes and camera on the head, also on the back of the head. But also, one interesting thing is that this kit does come with a falling Gundam and a second pair of eyes. So basically, this second pair of eyes does not have the red detail underneath the eyes. So now, I'm not familiar with the unit, so I cannot determine what the hell the other pair of eyes are for, but you do have some display options. So you had to go with it with a build, either without the red detail or with the red detail. It's all up to your choice. But anyways, this thing, it does look pretty damn nice. It mixes elements of the V2 and the original Victory. So this thing is probably a best of both worlds. For articulation, it's probably the same as the original Victory. I am not familiar with it because I haven't built it, but here we go. It has a rotation on the head. It is not a polycap neck joint over here, but it still does have that funky chicken dance in the head. So it can rotate side to side, but beware of the collisions of the wings over here, because yep, the head does tend to collide with the wings. The arms are on the swing L polycap configuration. They can rotate, however the weapon racks over here do get in the way. So it is not due to the fault of the kit itself, it is due to the extra weaponry in the back. This thing can rotate 360 in theory. And then the arms can go out that far. Rotation above the elbow. Bend at the elbow at 2 joints. I'm liking that bend, but the joints do look a little bit crappy in the back. The wrists are on ball joints, so it can rotate and wiggle. The waist, it can rotate and do a little bit of crunching if you kind of cheat, but there is next to no articulation in the waist. Front skirts move, side skirts cannot really move out of the way because it is colliding with the waist over here, but they can still rotate. And of course, the back skirt is stationary as per usual. And then the legs, they can move up and down separate from the waist, but it is so tight. And since this model is not owned by me, plus it is a P-Bandai, I would not want to risk showing you guys the articulation in the cost of breaking this actual model. So it's there, you just really need some force to get it to move. But anyways, let's go forwards, go backwards, go outwards. Not really all the way because the thighs kind of get in the way. Rotation at the hip. A double jointed knee, but all you can get is a more than 90. So there's not really too much articulation in the legs. Then the feet can go forwards and back, side to side, rotate, and then the flap over here can move and the toes can point down. I do not know if Bandai is teasing us that they did intend to make the Victory transformable, however, they just gave up halfway. This is kind of a tease. I'd rather it not be there because you wouldn't be really seeing the Victory do this in a mobile suit mode. It's kind of like the XS Gundam High Grade back in the day. And then the Minovsky flight unit over here. So these wings can open up, and of course you do have holes over here. So if you do have the P-Bandai expansion set for the V2 Gundam, you could definitely plug the Wings of Light into these sockets over here and make the second Victory much more of a good display piece. And of course the wings are on ball joints, so you can kind of adjust it over here, you can flap out a little bit. And then the weapon racks over here, the rifle actually has a joint over here so it can move up and down. But then the racks over here, they can move at the base over here. And they can also have a second joint at the ball joint over here. Same goes for the Minovsky shield. So that's about it for the second Victory Gundam. I have to say, it is not the best when it comes to the lower body, but it is decent enough, and the weapons only really hinder the head and the arms. So apart from all the additional weapons, this guy can still pull off some really cool poses. Mind the weight issues, however. For accessories, let's start off with the generic Gundam loadout before we talk about what is on the Minovsky drive unit. So first of all, we have the beam rifle from the V2 Gundam, which does have 2 stickers for the scopes over here. And to me, this thing looks like a squished SD gun, inappropriately armed for an high grade. So you basically just take apart the hand and put it in there, like so. Does look good in certain angles, but if you look at it directly from the side, it does look kind of weird. And then you have 2 beam sabers with nowhere to store it because the Victory Gundam stores its beam sabers in the arms. So of course, high grade cannot replicate that effect. So the beam saber effects are not really compatible with anything other than the Victory itself, but in the cost of that, it does look very, very cool. Kind of matches up to the Gundam X or the Gundam Double X. So you can just slide that into the hand, like so. Also, you do get the beam fan. So just in case you want to escort a princess with the Victory Gundam, you can arm it with the beam fan. It's kind of like those combat fans that you see in ancient China or something like that. I don't know. And last but not least, we have the beam shield over here. So the beam shield generators are on both arms. You can attach the beam shield to both of the arms. But I'm only going to show it on the left arm because usually the left is always armed with the shield. So you just take off the red cap over here and plug it into the shield. If I could actually do it without any issues, you can plug it right in, like so. So it has some basic defense. Now let's talk about the Minovsky drive unit. Specifically the weapons that are on it. So first of all, we have the Mega Beam Cannon mounted on the right. So it is mounted on by being plugged into the weapon racks, like so. So basically, you do have this as a joint, but I am not sure what the hell you would use this for other than extra articulation when it is plugged onto the weapon racks. However, it does look pretty cool. The color separation over here is amazing. So the blues are separate from the whites and also the grays. So let's just arm this guy up with the Mega Beam Cannon. So you first of all take off the handle here just to steer clear of any obstructions. Plug it right into the hand and kind of feed the hand cover right back in. And this does require some extreme precision. But there we go. Nonetheless, it is stable. It will not move anywhere. Even though this cannon is a little bit heavy, a little bit heavier than the beam rifle, it still holds it no problem. So you can use an alternate mode of ranged weaponry in the hand. However, I would like to plug it into the backpack. And then last but not least, we have the Minovsky shield stored on the left. So this is its compact form, and yes, wrong gripping could lead to falling pieces. So this is the stored form of the Minovsky shield. It doesn't really have too much going for it, so let's bring in, yes, a parts forming part. This is the core unit of the open form of the Minovsky shield. So what you need to take off is these 2 pieces over here, like so, and then take this piece off, the white piece on the bottom, and then just plug it into the open core unit, and then the pieces over here go in like so, nice and snugly. So here is the Minovsky shield opened up. How do you mount it onto Victory, you ask? Well, you do have to sacrifice the beam shield and the cap over here. And this adapter is kind of a particularly long one, just so it could wrap around the beam shield emitter and the arm and put the shield in where it is supposed to be on the arm, like so. This is one of the coolest shields I've ever seen, and I think these 3 bits over here can fly off and be remotely controlled. I am not sure. As I said, I'm not familiar with the unit. But these are 2 cool weapons that are made for the 2nd Victory Gundam, and I absolutely love them. Sadly, this is not my model, so I cannot really use them for anything else because it's my friend's. So, this kit may have quite a few plates that are new to it. This does have a lot of leftover parts. So first of all, we have this from the V2 Gundam with all the joints and all that kind of stuff right here. There should be like a leg connection joint, but I accidentally cut that off. And then over here on the C plate, this is from the original Victory Gundam. So I think some of these parts are meant to recreate the core fighter, which is not included in this kit. And this is probably the original chest piece. The E1 plate comes with an extra V-fin just in case you destroyed one of them. This is from the original Victory Gundam plate, so I do not understand why the Victory Gundam has 2 V-fins. Probably it's just a spare. Why not? And then here we have the V2 Gundam's face and beam shield generators. Last but not least, this is actually new to the 2nd V that has the leftover arm joints. These are extra. For comparisons, let's bring in the North America Local Type Gundam, which stands at 18 meters. Now, since this is based off of the Victory Gundam, this guy is very, very small. And talking about small Gundams, this has become a meme by now, but I have to bring this in, the Core Gundam. This is the real Tricolor version that comes with the Mars armor. So that's about it for the 2nd Victory Gundam review. What do I think of this kit? Well, it doesn't really matter what I think because not a lot of people can get their hands on the 2nd Victory as it is a freaking P-Bandai. However, I do really think that this kit being paired with the original high-grade Victory Gundam, which is already kind of a good kit but just too dull for my tastes, added on by the spice of the Minovsky Shield Mega Cannon and the Minovsky drive unit over here, which does give it the V2 Gundam's wings. This thing is a mix and a best of both worlds. The articulation is a bit lacking in the lower body, as I said, but it can be made up for by the heavy weaponry all over the body. You're not going to be doing any sort of dynamic poses on the ground or in the air. I think what I'm going to do if I do own this kit is to have it in a bombardment pose, just blasting everything out from the body. So with all the extra weapons that came in this package, this thing does receive a 7 to 8 out of 10. This thing is just good. Like, it is the best of both worlds. Some of you may not prefer the dullness of the original Victory or the Victory Dash, although the Victory Dash does come with a Hexa helmet, so you can actually customize it with the Victory Dash Gundam. Some of you may not like the V2 or the V2 Assault Buster. This is the best alternative. However, as I did say, and it's blatantly obvious that this is a P-Bandai, so lamentably, not a lot of people can get their hands on this kit, which is the best of both worlds. Let me tell you that much. So I would recommend it if you do somehow still find an offer for the 2nd Victory Gundam. And I'm seriously tempted to get one myself. I don't know why, but anyways, that's about it for this video. It is a good kit, and look out for it. I do recommend you guys pick up this kit. So that's it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you did like it, please be sure to drop a like, comment, and also subscribe for more Gunpla reviews, Gunpla news, and all that kind of stuff. Subscribe to the featured channels on my channel page if you haven't, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out, guys. Bye bye.